In this video, I'll be talking about continuation patterns from a overall perspective. Continuation patterns are simply multitudes of candles or bars, several that tell you that perhaps you're going to continue to go in the same direction. They have a multitude of different types of patterns out there that you can be exposed to. Some of which are very complex and some of which are very basic. So, for example, I can make a real argument for resistance being found in this area because you can see we banged up against it several times. We had previously seen a very impulsive move higher. We had poked up and then came back and slammed into this. Well, once we formed this candle above there, that was obvious that we were going to continue to go higher. We had blown through a lot of resistance. It's not 100% effective. You never know. You can get a false breakout. But it does give you an idea of the actual strength of the move. And it puts the odds in your favor of a continuation of the trend that we had seen. And therefore gives you a heads up, if you will, of what the market may do next. Another particular formation that people like, continuation, is the flag. And in this case, I have a bearish inverted flag. You can see you can make a flag out of that, a flag pole. You can see we broke down below the bottom of this flag and did in fact continue to the downside right to support. So you can see how you're playing the odds, and hopefully it works out in the end if you play the obvious continuation patterns. And I would say this, I would say that typically the continuation patterns that form on the longer term charts, such as the weekly, tend to be much more relevant than the shorter term charts, such as the 5-minute, because it takes a lot more information to form those patterns and a lot more people are paying attention to them. So as a general rule, you're best served by looking at the continuation patterns as signs of where we might go, but actually waiting for an actual breakout of that continuation pattern to actually put money into the market, because quite frankly it can get rather choppy out there, as the euro dollar has been recently. You can see that there were several situations where it didn't quite look right, but we eventually broke up or broke down. You can see here there's a triangle there that we had broken. You could even make, for that matter, an argument of a pennant, which is essentially the same thing as a flag. We broke above the top of that and we did continue. And in fact, this continuation pattern comes with a measuring stick. The pole typically is about how far you look to aim on a breakout, and that's about what happened. So with that being said, there's a lot to these patterns, but again, I'd urge you to wait until you break out, because a lot of people will get involved in these ahead of time, and then what happens is, for example, with the pennant, we continue to drift sideways and it never really fires off, and once it breaks out of that triangle, it's no longer a pennant, it's just consolidation. So with that being the case, very powerful stuff. Not 100% nothing is, but it does put the odds in your favor, and that of course is exactly what you're trying to do.